Like being a professional athlete is basically that's what we used to do. It's not the totality of who we are as individuals. So with all of that being said, we are about to debunk the perception versus reality when it comes to being an athlete.
Behind the mask.
What up, my boy?
What's good, family? Another day in paradise, Mr. USA.
Better know it, baby. Team USA already.
There it is.
How you doing, bruh?
I'm chilling, man. Can't complain. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, right on there. Hey, so it's plenty of things that we can talk about, but I have this one in particular that I do want to talk about. Actually, it's a question I would like to pose to you. Might be a little rhetorical, but let me take a shot at it. How many times have we met people and they came in under the presumption that, you know what, they know who we are due to the fact of what we've done in the past?
Yeah.
Like being a professional athlete is basically that's what we used to do. It's not the totality of who we are as individuals. Yeah. True or false in your thought process?
Yeah, it was a job. I mean, a great job, but it was a job, yes.
Yeah, so with saying that, for me, I'm a father. I'm a son. Yeah. I'm a brother.
Facts.
Man, I'm a friend. I'm also an author. MBA grad.
Keep going.
I'm not even a businessman. But I am a businessman.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Yeah, thank you.
No doubt.
So with all of that being said, we are about to debunk the perception versus reality when it comes to being an athlete.
Definitely deep, man. And it is a gift and a curse, right? It's a gift because we were blessed to do something we love. We talk about it all the time, making it to the NFL. But it becomes a curse, in my opinion, sometimes because you're kind of judged off of people's interaction with athletes or what they, like you said, their preconceived notions of who you are as an athlete or what they see on TV. You know, how some athletes act. So You're automatically just lumped into that barrel, that category. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird because, like I said, it's a profession that we did, great profession, but we was in our 20s, early 30s. Like if I judged you or judged someone based off of solely what they did in their 20s, chances are I probably wouldn't like them. You know what I'm saying? Because your 20s are your years to fuck up, like make mistakes, do things that you're going to get over.
The dumb stuff.
Do the dumb stuff. And then you kind of learn in your 30s, and then you grow up in your 30s, and then by your 40s, hopefully you got it together, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's typically how it goes. You know what I mean? We got kids that are, Jakai's about to be, she's in her 20s, and Ty's in her 20s. You know what I'm saying? So for real, I think across the board from in a professional stance, everyday walk, and even from a relationship aspect, there are instances where people's perception of us is far different from reality. So, I mean, you brought it up, bro. Was there a situation where somebody had a perception of you that was so far from the reality?
This one case instance, I decided to go out. Hell, all of us we were together. Went out to this lounge. This was years ago. And, we just wanted to go hang out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Have a good time, socialize, have a few cold adult beverages, cabs, and socialize a little bit. And so I actually saw this young lady in the lounge, and I was like, okay, all right. Kind of peeped out for a few minutes.
Had to get your holler on.
Yeah, man. I said, man, let me go over here and figure out who this is. I need to get to know her. She needs to know me. Right. So, went over, approached her, had good conversation in the beginning, first 5 minutes, and then it just boiled down to she asked that question. Then I just heard the noise in the background after she asked it. Are you an athlete? It was like, dum, dum, dum. And I was like, yeah, like, what does that have to do with anything?
Right.
And she was like, Oh no, I ain't talking to you because y'all like to holler at everybody. Well, y'all like to, you don't have no regard for nobody. You'll just be talking to me, then you'll go over to the next one. And I'm like, well, clearly a lot to debunk here, but since I got time, I'm here for it. And I was like, well, you know, my mom always told me, she was like, it's okay to have interaction with people because the most important thing, and maybe just ask yourself sometimes, what person wants somebody that nobody else wants?
Facts.
And I was like, Mom, say that again. She was like, what person, you don't want nobody that nobody else don't want. Yeah. That means they real jacked up. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? You're right. So I had to prove that point to her. She was like, oh, okay, fair. And then two, I was like, why would you say you show me interest? Now you come back and you look at me and like, well, I don't know because you're an athlete. I don't know if I can talk to you because of this and that. And I'm like, well, let me remind you, we are in a lounge, correct? Yes. You came here to socialize, right? Yes. Are you not having a good time right now? Yes, I am. Are you not having great conversation with me? Yes, I'm really enjoying it. So what's the damn problem?
What's the problem? Yeah.
So after I undressed a few things and, you know what I mean, we got down to the core of the issue, you know, she realized, like, you know what? I'm living off of the perception of what comes along with it versus living in the moment and the reality of what you're giving me right now. And I was like, exactly. Right. Allow me to prove myself wrong.
So basically, she's upset that you got options.
That's what I was penalized for.
That's crazy.
But I closed it with this. I was like, look, let's be real. Everybody has options. We all do. Are you penalizing me for having options, or are you penalizing me for having options and choosing and deciding whether or not to act or don't act on those options?
Yeah. Fair question.
Huh?
I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. Like you said, everybody has options, so it's really if you're going to act on them or if you're not going to act on them. But she was already into you, you know what I mean? So that's a start, particularly in the lounge. Like you said, you socializing, so.
Listen, man, it broke the ice. So eventually after that, she just came and she was like, you know what, you nice looking guy, you know, like, I love your skin complexion. I love your smile.
Here we go.
And I'm just saying, I said, baby, look, I would love to take credit for it. But I got to give all the credit to my mom and dad for hooking up back in 76. This statuesque physique, all of this chocolate skin with the nice smile. Like, man, shout out to Mama P, man. Like, I can't take credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's what it is.
So you wound up getting the number and everything. You know, did it kind of work out or just because obviously she felt a certain way. She had this mindset of a perception of who you were, but then immediately the reality was turned around because of the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The logic, the conversation, or the logic that came through the conversation really changed it for us. You know what I mean? And so it lasted. It lasted the exact amount of time that it did. You know, no blood drawn. Yeah. But it was good though. No harm, no foul. But let me ask you, Mr. Reyes.
Oh shit.
What are some of your experiences when it comes to the perception versus the reality of who you are?
No lies in the lounge. I think similar situations have happened on a social side. You know, you talk to women and they think, oh yeah, because you're a taller man, got the physical stature or whatever, you're immediately an athlete. So in their minds, or if you have jewelry on, in their minds, whatever they think an athlete is like, or whatever their history is of interacting with athletes, they automatically throw it on you.
Right.
So you always you're always on the defense initially. Even if you come out on the offense, you're on the defense because they're coming back with certain things that you're like, all right, let me get through this. Because at the end of the day, your goal is to continue conversation with them, down the line. And I've had people that were, funny story, remember the shark ball back in Atlanta?
Do I?
The shark ball was popping, yo.
What?
That was like the early 2000s.
Feeding frenzy.
It was so popping. And this one girl was at the bar, and me and my boys were up there, went to go talk to her. She was gorgeous. So I'm hollering at her, she's interacting, getting drinks and everything. And then one of her girls came up to her and said, I offered the girl a drink, right? One of her girls came up, I offered her a drink as well. And I'm like, yeah, you want a drink? So she took the drink. And then as soon as she got it, she's like, I heard her say, girl, come on, let's leave. This dude ugly anyway. I was like.
She called you ugly?
Now, I know I ain't the most, immaculate dude in the world, but damn it.
No lies in the lounge before you say this.
No lies in the lounge. I'm a plus size model still, bro. And I know I'm a handsome ass dude. You feel me? So I'm sitting there like, I said, oh, I stopped talking to the girl I was talking to. I said, oh, excuse me. I said, can I ask you something? She said, yeah. I said, you call me ugly? She said, yeah. I said, yo, why would you say that? I said, why would you say that? She's like, what do you mean? Nah, me and my girl ready to go. I said, I understand that, and I'm not stopping y'all from going. But why would you say that? I said, I've never been called that a day before in my life, in my 23 years. So why would you say that? She's like, well, I'm sorry. I just wanted my girl to go because she was getting the attention and you wasn't. I see she was talking to an athlete. So that was the perception. That was the perception, like, oh, my girl is going to talk to or deal with an athlete, da-da-da-da-da. So I told the girl, I'm like, well, look, man, I just want to keep in touch with you. Let me exchange information or whatever. And she's like, nah, I don't know, da-da-da-da. So I hit her with the, I was like, why are you saying no? No is such a negative word. Like, what we doing? We hitting it off, great conversation.
Right.
So why you going to say no when all you got to do is say yes? You know what I'm saying?
I caught it.
You feel me? So after that, exchange information, long time ago, I forgot what happened. But the perception was, my girl is dealing with an athlete, so what's going to come along with that? Nobody's paying me attention. The reality was like, I'm cool. You can get a drink and hang out too. I'll give you some attention, but I just happen to want your girl. You know what I mean?
I bet her girl look like Slaw, didn't she?
Everybody. There's somebody out there for everybody. That's what I'll say.
Well, let's keep it nice. That's it. There's somebody out there for everybody.
I'm not going to call her ugly like she tried to call me. That was fine. You know what I mean? But I think it happens on the social side. It happens on the business side as well. And I think about different situations we've been in where people often say that we're out of touch with reality because we're athletes, right? So on the business side, we've done that profession for these 10, 15 years. So when people judge us on the business side, all they can see, their view only looks as far as seeing I'm dealing with an athlete.
Yep.
They don't know that, hey, we got our MBAs. They don't know that, we're business men. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I think that gets skewed too. And I remember one conversation we had, we were on the phone with, I forget who it was, but we're talking about BTM. We're going through the ins and outs of what we do on the show. And then the people were like, okay, this sounds great. We're looking forward to it. Once we're done, we'll have our financial people contact your financial people and we'll work over the particulars. And we're on the Zoom call during the pandemic. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, have your financial people contact us because we are the business people. We are the financial people for this BTM media. So there's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I just thought that you guys were the talent. You guys were just the faces on the screen and that we hear on the streaming platforms. I'm like, nah, we really do this. So the perception was you guys are athletes that are in front of the camera talking, similar to you guys are athletes that are on the football field that we're watching. But the reality was like, nah, we businessmen as well. We're more than capable of running a business, handling a business. So for me, it was like we talk about not having an ego, but it was an ego moment. Like, yo, check yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is not what you think it is. And then one other situation, after I retired from the NFL, people always say, yo, Tu, you're great with kids, with the football camps, et cetera. And they're like, you should get into coaching. We both got in the media right after the league, right?
Yep.
But they say you should get into coaching. I'm like, that would be cool, but, I'd rather spend time with Ty, Maya, and Lennon watching them, coaching them, as opposed to coaching on the field. You know what I mean? That I could be responsible for 3 kids, but 99 and 45, nah, I don't want that responsibility. That's just the way it is. And I talked to a former coach of mine when I was asking him about getting into coaching. He's been a coach for 20-something years in the NFL, and he's like, nah, too, you don't want to do that. I was like, well, I don't want to do that. Right.
So I'm asking, like, he coaching, why you
20-something years, you don't want to do that. Oh, because it's long hours and you spend time away from your family and it's a ton of film study and you're literally sitting there all day. You have to travel on the weekends and I said to him, I said, yo, but I did that for 10 years in the NFL. I did the long hours. I did the film study. I traveled on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? I did everything that the reason you hired me when I played was because of those same skill sets.
Right.
Now that they transfer to coaching, oh, you don't want to do that. Nah, it's too much for you.
I bet you was like,
I was like, make that shit make sense, man.
Make that make sense.
And I'm like, yo, you did it for 25 years. And he told me, he said, yeah, but I don't want to do it no more. I said, so why do you still do it? Because it pays well. But you're not going to make the same amount of money that you made in the NFL. I'm like, so basically you feel the perception is I wouldn't do it if the money wasn't right. Not because of the same passion, not because of everything that we put into it. And I'm like, that's bullshit, man. And again, that perception of who people think we are as opposed to getting to know us and finding out who we truly are, or knowing those assets that we used and that skill set that we used while we played can be transferable to everyday life. It's like, yo, that shows me more about the person than it does about us.
About yourself.
You know what I mean? It shows you how far or how limited your view is, your scope is. And I ain't with that, man.
Nah, it's like I had forgot about that when you brought it up. Just the business side.
Yeah.
BTM when we were on the conference call.
Mm-hmm.
And I even think about current day, from a financial standpoint. Even, people love to come up to you, just strangers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, bruh, I mentioned it to you the other day.
What's that?
About the random people will come up to you, and, I try to take it for what it is. Because I don't like to be, we're in a heightened sensitive climate right now when it comes to race and, like, I call it is what it is. But, like, I hate, and this ain't got nothing to do with black folk, white folk, it just period. If you don't know me and you come up to me and you up under the presumption that what I do, hey, you an athlete? You a ball player? Yeah, used to be.
Right.
What's up? Guess what that next question is, which totally, like, chaps my ass.
Yeah.
Did you save your money?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming, too.
Yeah.
I listen, I knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as it just rolled up, did you save your money?
Yeah.
Bruh, I was just like, I gotta get him.
Roast him.
I gotta get him.
What you said?
Let's role play, dog. Let's run. Use the athlete.
All right. So, hey, man, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good.
What's your name, brother?
Spikes.
Spikes? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. You look like an athlete. You play football?
A time or two in the past.
Yeah. Who'd you play for?
Couple of teams, man.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, drafted with Cincinnati. I ended with San Diego.
Oh, hell, you look like you can still play, man.
Yeah. That's where it starts and stops.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, so I hear a lot of stuff about athletes going broke after a couple of years playing, man. Did you do good? Did you save your money?
No, I actually did. So since you felt like you knew me close enough to ask me that question, what are you going to do to help me since you got the kahunas to ask me that question? We don't know each other like that. So if you asking me, oh, no, I'm just asking, no. If you asking me a question like that, provide a solution. Don't be piling on to the damn problem. Give me an opportunity, and then we really can become friends.
Yeah.
Don't come leading with, did you save your money? It ain't your fucking business if I saved it or not. You ain't giving me none anyway.
Facts.
So if you don't have a solution, please don't come up and lead with the next question after you find out the person is the athlete. Did you save your money?
Yeah.
Huh?
1,000%, bro. And it's so inconsiderate. It's so how do you lead that within the first 5 minutes of a conversation to somebody? That's so personal. You know what I mean? Like that's like saying, okay, I meet somebody and they're like, yeah, you play ball. Oh, my daughter goes to this school. I went to this school. My daughter went to that school. She graduated too. She does this. Okay, your daughter. Can I meet your daughter? Can I get with her? It's personal as shit. That same look you got right now is the look that we have when people ask a personal, intrusive question within 5 minutes or so of meeting somebody. Sometimes it's quicker than that because the perception, again, it shows where their mind is at about the person they're meeting because you find out a person is an athlete. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's just so screwed up, bro. And I'm with you. It's happened so many times. It's happened when at charity functions we've been at business meetings we've been at. And it's like, yo, the nerve of you.
You know, so full circle. Like that kind of, you know.
Yeah, it triggered you.
It triggered. That was one of the triggers for me.
Mm.
And typically I don't go off like that just because, like, the reality of it is, it ain't just athletes.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, I know there's plenty of people out here living check to check.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, we grew up, my family grew up living from check to check. When you got a family of 4, you know what I'm saying? So I think my point was, which I clearly established to him, you know, after the fact, you know, he was like, oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to come off that way. But it was like, sometimes you have to remind people of how you need to be treated, even with questioning people. And that was the point that I wanted to get across, just to let him know, look, 1, you're out of line for asking that question when you don't even know me. 2, if you are going to ask that question, make sure, in the event if I'm dead broke, what solutions are you bringing to the table?
Yeah.
Or you choosing to be a good Samaritan to say, you know what, I got this opportunity for you that I know is going to help bring sustainability back to your life.
And it should be just as quick as you was comfortable enough asking the question. You should be just as quick having that solution in the conversation, right?
That's all we saying.
Yeah, facts. Yo, I mean, you hit it on the head, bro. You hit it on the head. And one thing I thought about, this is interesting when we talk about perception versus reality. We both have daughters. Jakai, Maya, and London.
Yeah.
You know, I already know what Ty likes, but would you let or approve of Jakai dating an athlete? The perception versus a reality. Dun, dun, dun.
You really want to ask that question?
I mean,
you did ask it.
No lies in the lounge.
No lies in the lounge.
No lies in the lounge.
All right, I no lies in the lounge.
No lies in the lounge.
We've had this conversation before.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in a good heated debate. For me, I've learned, or just being aware, just being an athlete coming up through the ranks, you see how daughters are, they ain't listed. I get it. So my advice to her was, look, I'm telling you like this. Do you realize the percentage? If you want a fairy tale ending, married, picket fence, little dog named Toto, if you expecting that from that guy, that shit ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, not at her age. Yeah.
Not at that age. And it ain't, and this is exactly what I said. Like, I know what you got planned out, but you don't know what he got planned out. So I'm just telling you, that doesn't don't let it deter you from dating somebody, but I'm just letting you know, because guess who went through it? I did. Fact. So I'm just telling you and giving you inside information that chances are he's probably gonna mess up. And after he messes up, it doesn't mean that he's a bad dude. It's all about part of the learning process. Like, that's how you know what you want. Yeah. And what you don't want as you continue to get older through life. Yeah. So I'm not saying you can't or you shouldn't. I'm just laying it out there for you to make the decision. And so after you know your decision, you got to live with it.
Yeah.
Because I ain't going to never have you out here, we always say it, rhyming on the whack beat.
Facts.
I want you to at least know, because when you know, or awareness is the beginning of change. And when you know that, it's much more easier to manage.
Yeah.
That's my advice for her.
Yeah.
Like, but for you thinking you finna sit this dude down, especially young, it's even worse now compared to when we grew up.
Yeah, because you got the phone.
You got social media.
Yeah, social media, yeah.
Even if somebody who is average at best, average at their craft, they can put it on social media and you will think they are the expert.
Yeah.
Which raises their level of credibility if you don't do your homework. Mm-hmm. So, that's my advice. What about yours, though, since you want to back me in the corner? Child, you think I'm going to let you get off?
I thought we was about to end the show.
Yeah, we ended it after this question right here. Come on. What about you, big guy?
Oh, man. And this is, I guess, I might be contradicting myself a little bit, because when the girls were growing up.
No lies in the lounge,
No lies
sir.
in the lounge. You know how
No lies.
No lies in the lounge. So when the girls were growing up, I told Maya, obviously Maya's older, she's 18 in college now, but around 16 when, started seeing flowers left at the doorstep and, you know what I'm saying, her favorite candy and stuff like that, I was like, yo, so I look on the camera and I see somebody fast dropping it off and running out. I'm like, I seen this kid before. I seen this.
I would have ate them damn chocolate.
Man, I seen the silhouette. I didn't see it till I got home and checked the cameras. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I seen this. I know that form. So, you see kids that have either ran track with her, stuff like that.
Can't say you know the form.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, initially, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, nah, don't date no athlete. And Sheikah was like, why not? You an athlete. You was an athlete. I was like, well, I'm not no more. So we met. I met you after I was done with the league, so that don't count.
Once an athlete, always an athlete.
But you know what it is? I'm like, more so, if you dated somebody, date who they are, not what they do. That was the message I was getting across, right? Because at that age, and I told Ty, I've told Maya, I've told London, each time they started dating, I said, look, the first person you rock with, you like this person? Like, yeah, I like them. They cool? Yeah. They make you feel good inside? Yeah. Like, yo, this ain't gonna be your last boyfriend, right? They like, why would you say that? I said, I'm just being honest. I don't think that this is gonna be your last boyfriend. Just like you said, social media, options. Do people at that age choose to act on those options?
Yeah.
It's not impossible, but it's highly probable that they will.
We just playing the percentages.
Okay. Yeah. And that's okay, because guess what? The things that you liked at 16 might not like at 21. Things you like at 21 might not like at 30. It's called growth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm also like, I understand that this is what's making, tickling your fancy right now. But I said, give it time. Because my mother taught me one thing that sticks with me to this day. Nobody wants something from you unless they can get it returned in either flesh or in gold. Flesh means something physical. Yeah. Meaning, maybe sexual, maybe time, maybe interaction, maybe walking around saying on, how the kids do on the IG pages, this is my boyfriend, girlfriend. Or gold meaning something material. Meaning money back, something you could do for them, something you could buy for them, gifts, things of that nature. Right. Nobody's going to give you something unless they want it returned in flesh or in gold. So if you go into the mindset with that, knowing that, watch for the hook. The hook is going to come. Some point, the hook is going to come. You don't believe it? All you got to do is stop giving that person what they're used to you giving them. And then you'll see how they react. If they react in a cool manner, absolutely, they're there for you. If they start calling you out your name and wilding out and subbing you on social media and doing all of this stuff, that's the real person.
Wow. That's strong.
That's the real person.
That's strong, what I mean? Too.
But I ain't gonna lie, the perception for me, being a former athlete, that was the reality. And that's what I led with, because I wanted to protect my daughters. Absolutely. Yeah. But at this age, she's dated athletes. You know what I mean? So it's like, the reality is people like who they like. But I'd rather you give them a chance as opposed to just assuming they're going to be this way with you because of the good things I've done, the bad things I've done, the good things an ex has done, the bad things an ex has done. You know what I'm saying? So just give it a chance and make that reality your reality as opposed to whatever you perceive that person to be. Give it a chance.